Hi everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and we're going to do a junk mail stuff today. So this was a request to do like a scrap buster using our junk mail and anything else we have on hand. So I have mostly like some envelopes, all those little inserts you get, a bag, a little bit of that packaging that I used before that's available. So anyway, to see what we can make, whether it's just some pockets and ephemera, those types of things. I also have some of my scraps out, and I have a big scrap bin sitting behind me so I can grab more. Some of these are some of the larger pages, and I've got lots of little things too. So there's so much as a junk journaler we can do to use just things we have around the house. And I know I'm guilty because of using, a lot of my digitals and scrapbook paper and all those things that make me happy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. But it's also fun to sometimes look at some of our humble, is that a good word? Yeah. Our humble supplies and things that would otherwise end up in the trash bin, right? If we didn't rescue them. And we can recycle, and I do that as well, but I keep a bunch of this kind of stuff on hand just because it's such a great base for so many things. I don't have a plan. I was gonna do a great big flap. I think I'm gonna do a smaller flap. I am thinking though that I'm gonna make some pockets, and I think I'm gonna play with this a little bit to make even like an envelope to hold some ephemera, right? I think that'll be fun. So I'm just gonna play and chat, and we'll see what we come up with while I'm in my craft room today. I am getting ready. I've been talking about it. Y'all be watching this while I'm on vacation. And so I haven't had a ton of time, to plan one of my more involved, videos. So I thought, let's just have fun and honor this request and kind of go back to some of the basics, right? And obviously I'm going to use scraps that are digitals and scrapbook paper, but I'm going to also use a bunch of junk mail. Okay, so this one was quite thin, but like I said, I've just layered that book page there. And like I said, and my papers are, again, that one is printed on both sides, so I'm going to wait on that one. It may even be a piece of scrapbook paper. But I'm going to mix and match a bunch of different things and see what I can come up with. And a lot of times when I do this type of crafting, I will measure and use my trimmer, but a lot of times I just do what I'm doing here and just make it kind of work for me and what I need. And that's what I do. And I'm sure I will start inking and doing some other things as well. But for now, I'm just going to get some paper down and see what I can make out of this envelope and make it look like something that is a treasure. And it has probably, I'm going to turn it this way, probably been over here in my stash. I have a little cubby in my desk to the right, and that's where I throw junk mail. And when it gets full, I don't collect anymore for a while. Or I put it somewhere else. No, I try to not collect anymore for a while. Okay, I have this fun window, and I'm not the best at always figuring that out. But what I think I'm going to do is get a piece of paper that, and something that can peek through that I want to see in that window. Maybe one of these little ladies. What do we think? Now, it also means I'm going to have to piece together around this window if I do that. So sometimes I've been known to just forget the window's there and not worry about it. But it would be fun to kind of see her peek through, wouldn't it? Let's think. Let's think. Again, I have lots of options. I am going to do some paper, but I'm also going to grab some washi tape because that's going to make it easy to hopefully go go around here. So I have lots of different washi's. This one, can't remember the name of this kit. It has a newer packaging that has the name on it. But anyway, it's from IB. It's beautiful. And I will make sure that I have it linked for you in the video description, because I also have a coupon if you decide to do some shopping. All right, are we going to see those letters through there? I don't think so. But the whole point of this was I was going to try to cover up near the window. Okay, so I'm going to just let this wrap around and figure out what I want to do next. I may do, because I really don't necessarily want the purple. I like purple, and if I was using one of my, or thinking I was going to be using quite a bit of purple, it might have been fun to just leave a lot of the purple, right? But I think for now, we'll do this. Get that burnished down. That is not my favorite bone folder. Do you guys have favorites? I definitely have favorites. Okay. And again, I don't mind seeing the torn edges. I like that. So I'm going to keep going. There's a little tiny bit of purple, but it's rounded. I'm not worrying about it. I am going to, I don't even know if I tore this one long enough, leave it and move on. I was thinking I would, also do some paper, but I'm enjoying the blue. I want to piece something right there. And I don't think this is going to be wide enough for this whole strip. So we're going to get to see some fun torn edges. Okay. There are people that are really good at working with washi tape. I would say I'm more of a wing it kind of washi tape person. If I'd been really careful, we would have seen, the pretty pattern and repeat and all of that. It's okay. Again, I'm okay with it. All right. I'm waiting for the Christmas washi tape release. I don't know why this one's doing this. I have had this for a while. I need to start using it and not just hoard it. I say that whenever I pull it out, but I have a lot and I love it. And sometimes it's pretty to look at. Anyway, I am waiting for that to receive my Christmas washi tape from IB. It should be here soon. That's really pretty. I like that. It's actually, I had designed it to be like this. So I think I'm going to put a strip here as well. And then switch over, I think, to some more paper. Okay. So tell me if you guys like working with junk mail for your journals and for ephemera pieces and things. I even like, doing things like this and then sewing this in a signature, that type of thing. That's always fun as well. All right, I'm going to go back. I still want to get something. I don't want to say dinnerly. Let's see. Here's a little piece. I think this is from my Blooms in the Winter paper kit. It's so funny where I won't work with a paper kit for a while, and then I find a scrap, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. I need to pull that back out. It's the problem when you really get into making digital kits, and I've started really having a lot of fun with it, is you keep making them, and then so you move on to the next one to create with, and I need to go back and enjoy some of the other ones that I have. And same goes for when I, purchase new ones, because there's a lot of designers, that I like, creators that I like using their kits too. Just so much paper, so little time. And I said that about Christmas projects too. So many Christmas ideas, so little time. Okay, now I could do much more of a collage-y kind of look, but I'm kind of having fun with the longer strips and stuff. So I think I'm going to stay with that for a little bit. And I'm trying to decide, I think I'm going to come above that at least a little bit. Got to decide about this corner here. One option is this, and I don't think it will hurt the integrity of my envelope, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to just, actually, instead of then cutting it off, I'm just going to glue it down so it does have, whoops, so it has a little more stability. I chose a very thin envelope to play with. Not quite sure why I did that, but I did. Okay, so all I'm doing is, well, and the whole point, Pam, I was like, oh, I'm going to just glue it down, is so I wouldn't see that. And then I glued that down. Oh, goodness. All right, now, the other thing I want to start thinking about is this lady and how, I know I keep switching around what I'm working on. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to take just a touch more off of the bottom. All right, and she's not quite wide enough, so I can fix that by gluing it here. Okay, I'm just gonna extend it a little and let's see what that looks like. And again, there are some people that turn these windows and these things into just the most gorgeous creations. I do like that a lot. So I am always inspired. Now all I'm doing is putting some glue on the card. I didn't even worry about putting it all the way around, because it's not going to go anywhere. Things are going to slide right in here. And it's going to be fine. Okay. So now I'm wondering, I may use another portion of this to kind of bring in, that consistency. Since I have the car book page, I wanted to bring it down to about right here. I'm not going to worry about that little bit right there. And I'm going to take the tiniest of sliver, just a little tiny sliver. Get this to layer on here nicely. And I'm going to go even a tiny bit smaller, so I can see just a little bit more of my pretty washi tape. All right, so if I put it there, yeah, why not? All right, I am going to add the glue. Oh, I do not want to glue my crazy envelope closed. So I'll do the glue this way, so I don't have to worry. All right, and I'm going to put this right up to that top. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I left all these little pieces. I kind of like the idea that I can see, somebody's used the envelope. I don't know. I kind of like it. All right, we can put things in there like this. Okay, now I definitely don't want to leave this just like this. I want this flap to have some interest, right? Why don't we pull out a doodad folder and this is just on copy paper, and so I'm going to save those little guys. One day I'm going to find the perfect thing for them. All right, maybe kind of keep going with the torn paper. Gosh, things are just flying around out of here. I think it's saying, pick me. Pick me. It doesn't usually happen. Not sure if those are going to make the cut, but let's put them there. They're pretty. And again, I'm going all over the place with colors, but again, that makes me happy, so not a problem for me. Kindness warms the soul. I had this out. Again, my videos while I'm on vacation, I'm recording them in kind of out of order. Like I didn't do all of them in order. So I'm not sure which one you're going to see before you see the other one. And this is where I'm going to pull my ink out a little bit, I think. So I may be talking about something or looking at something and thinking, oh yeah, we already did that or looked at that together, and you may not have seen it yet. All right. I'm going to do that. Ooh, wait, I think I might do this and make this a small tuck spot. Why not? All right, so I'm going to hold it by the side. I want to keep it open. It's always my trick. And I'll bring it over. I know I just covered up a bunch of the text, but it's okay. I wanted to have room for this little fussy cut. And then, see, we left that open. I don't know that that's it, but I will make something really quick to go in there, and then we'll do another one, another junk mail project, or I might even use a piece of junk mail to make a tag. And then depending on what we make, we might be able to put them in my little fancy envelope. But see, won't this just look amazing in a large junk journal? And if it's way too tall, honestly, we could cut it here and have 2 smaller pieces out of one. So don't, you know, if you ever are in the middle of working on something and you're like, oh, I wish I had made this smaller. Well, you know, you could chop it. I'm going to wait, and I may chop it, you know, when I go to use it. Okay, so I am, these are kind of thin. They're not super heavy duty. And I am going to glue this together to give myself a nice base to craft on. And again, this is where you can really save yourself money and, you know, be upcycling and doing something with, I don't know about you guys, but all that mail that just keeps on coming. All right. Oh, I had this washi tape. I have all kinds of washi tape out on my desk. I ran over there and I already had some out. All right, I'm going to do, I didn't measure that opening. I'm going to do 2 1/4. And yeah. Okay, and I don't think I want it quite that tall, but I do want it kind of tall. So I'm going to chop it off there. There we go. Okay, that'll be fun. Okay, so, and I mean, you could just fold over a piece of pretty paper or do something like that as well. But because I have some scraps out, and I keep picking up paper that is like scrap of paper on both sides, and I do not want to, I love this, use it for this. That was some of the poppies from Joey Card Maker's Poppy make and take. All right, this is very fragile ledger paper, and I would love it to be a journaling card. But again, when you fold it, it cracks. And so this is a perfect way to get to use it and not have to worry about that. See, as soon as I went to fold it, I don't know if y'all can tell, it cracked quite significantly. But it's okay. Look at how fun and aged it is. That I like all of that natural aging. So we're gonna fold it back the other way. All right, I'm gonna lay this little piece junk mail in here. Just like that. And then we're gonna glue the other side around it and decide what else we wanna do to it. But it's gonna be some nice space to write on. With that fun torn edge. Oh yeah, it's nice and grungy naturally. I'm gonna put a little bit of ink on here. All right. Very nice. So what else do we want to do? Do we want to put some kind of topper on it? Do we want to maybe I'll make a little topper like this and ink it and just glue it on there. I was thinking about a ribbon or something, but I don't know. Maybe just this. We'll see. I was thinking about getting a manicure just to get my fingernails cleaned up. Not necessarily, you know, because I want polish and stuff, but goodness, and with the winter, they're so dry and they're always brown from ink. I honestly think I'm going to like this if it's a touch shorter. Ah, here I go. Oh, no. It's all right. I'll show you what you can do. If you are a little enthusiastic like I was and just going for it, I'm just going to glue it back down and it's going to be okay. All right. Now let's see. Yeah. I don't know. It was covering up too much of the antique horror. All right. We could add more tuck spots. We can, of course, put stuff in here. We could do some type of decoration on this side. I'm not sure that I'm going to, though. Again, this may be one of those that once, like when I know when I'm going to use it, it could be dressed up more, but I think that's really interesting looking and I like it. So we're going to set this aside for a moment and I'm going to grab something else from the junky pile and we'll see what we can make. This bag has been sitting here for a while and it's lined with like, can you see that? Like a bag in case you wanted to do like a food item, I think, or something in there. And I got this in New York last Christmas. That's how long I've had it sitting here when I went shopping with my daughter. And I kind of want to make something with it. It has such a nice feel and texture, but I don't necessarily want to completely cover it or change it. So, and of course, I do a lot of projects with flat bags, and sometimes they're ones, you know, that I've gotten when I've been shopping. And sometimes I have a stash that I've also just purchased. Okay, maybe this is going to have this vintage lace sitting here again for a long time. So this might be, isn't that pretty, the project. I like it. I mean, we could obviously use it kind of gathered up, but the the lace itself is just so gorgeous. I kind of want to see it. All right, we're going to make a new crease. So it's just a touch wider. Now this has, I guess they were trying to keep it from fraying. A little piece of very old Scotch tape on that end. Let's see what's going on. Yep, I don't want to pull. Okay, so I'm going to carefully trim that so I get kind of a nice edge. And I'm going to trim this. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to attach it, like with what type of adhesive. I don't know. Here I go with the Fabrifix, just because I think it'll be a little easier for me to control, and didn't have it ready, didn't have it upside down, even though I know I'll have to sit here and let it stick. But I'm thinking if I can, you know, just attach it a little bit, and then I can do some kind of cluster, maybe even in the center, you know, something. So I'm going to try to get my Fabrifix glue to be my friend today. I don't use it on camera very often because you know, it's a love-hate relationship. I realize I'm talking very quietly. I apologize. Now, what I didn't tell you guys, my husband did get me for my birthday a microphone that supposedly is going to help the sound, and it plugs right into my phone, which is what I use to record my videos. And supposedly it's going to block out like background noise too, like the garage door opening. And maybe even my puppies when they bark. Although y'all don't seem to really mind when they bark. But I haven't had a chance to open it and learn how to use it. So I'm going to take it with me while we're on vacation so that he can look at it with me some. You know, when we're at night after, you know, we've had dinner or whatever we're doing, and we've had our showers and we're just kind of hanging out or maybe watching a movie or something late, I figure that's when I can say, honey, help me with my birthday present. And he'll say, okay, because he's sweet. Okay, finally got a little bit to come out. All right, I'm going to start with that. And I hope that for now it's going to stay on there a little bit. Now, I want to make, like I said, some kind of cluster. And just because that happens to be the fussy cut that's sitting on my desk, I would just want to look at some options. Because, you know, a bird, this isn't the right color, but that would have gone well with the purple on the envelope, wouldn't it? Let's just see what we have. Ooh, that's pretty. Kind of wintry, a little large, because I kind of don't want to cover up that key. Let's see what we can find. I love that, and I liked the color. I think the shape's not right. But I can perhaps get it to look like a cluster, you know, with other layers too. There's some more of those flowers, some different colors. Let's cut, this one's kind of that same shape, but just a touch bigger. Let me cut this out and see what we think. This is like completely different than the envelope we worked on. Now, sometimes when I do a scrap buster, I want things that are like really like fast, like mass make scrap busters. This is more of a, let's make some just unique items kind of scrap buster. How's that? How's that? A unique item scrap buster. Now, it doesn't have to be in the middle. That's the other thing. Okay, so I have that. I wonder if I do, if this was just a touch smaller. Let's tear it. Just to give it, you know, a little something. And I have too many things out. I have to put some things away. I'm gonna go to my tried and true basket of crinkled seam binding, one of my favorites. I was hoping there might be, yeah, like a rose color, a green color. I have this rose too, and that rose, and maybe a little bit of some neutral. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we think. Which one will we like? Or maybe a couple. All right, I do this and this, and I'm thinking, was it in here that I had some little words? It's authentic. Oh yeah, here's a whole bunch of words. Be a helping hand. My heart is full. What does this one say? Love is a journey. Love is a gift. Let's go with love is a gift because it's smaller. And then I've realized, again, I don't know why I'm talking quietly. I hope you guys can hear me. I apologize if I've gotten too quiet. All right. Maybe something like that. And then maybe this one that's a little more like variegated. Maybe just a little bow. We'll see. And I can tell I've been using Fabrifix because my fingers are sticky. But it does work, and it is a good product. I don't want anybody to think it's not, because I tend to not use it very much on camera. Yeah, like I said, I kind of wanted to see that. I remember the bag, and I remember that shopping trip with Sarah, and we had really a lot of fun that day. That I think we'll go back to this shop when I'm there in December. So, gosh, this is just going to make me crazy today. It was a really neat shop. They had some really expensive things. I guess their flagship store, their first location is in LA, and they opened one in New York, and they had been open not that long. I mean, maybe a year earlier that same year that we were there. But they have like really expensive stuff like furniture and tapestries and fabrics and all of those types of things. But then they also had like really fun, unique gift wrap that wasn't expensive. Some like housewares, some glass. I mean, just anyway, it was very eclectic, and we loved it and had a great time. Now, I am hoping what I'm doing here with the Fabrifix, like it's gonna seep through the lace and stick it to the bag. And I think it is. Okay. Now this sweet darling is gonna get some hot glue because I just don't have time for that. Okay. Now I think this edge, now I'm hoping that is going to dry kind of clear, and I think it will. We're going to put just a little on this edge. Of course, it got on the bag there. Just so it doesn't flop around on us. And maybe a touch right here. It's definitely coming out better now, if anybody was wondering. There we go. Ah, my fingers are sticky. All right, we're gonna set this aside and look at it in a little bit. So what I think I'm gonna do with this bag is put something for Sarah in it for Christmas or for her birthday. Her birthday's in January. And she will remember the store and appreciate that I have upcycled that bag and not just thrown it away. She appreciates those kind of things. She's that kind of girl. All right, like her mommy. Okay, what else do I want to do? I don't even know how long I've been crafting, and I have not changed the clock in here, so my clock says it's an hour later than it is. Okay, so do we want to just do like a journaling card? Do we want to do a flippy something something? What do we want to do? Oh, wow. Oh, this is a portion of a envelope. Let's make a pocket. Since that just, you know, came into my life there, it looked like it wanted to be used. And see how you can make several things and feel like you haven't even made a dent in your pile. So, not to be discouraged. We don't need to be discouraged. We just need to keep going. Persevere. Okay. This is unquestionably one of our best offers ever. I kind of like, this is unquestionably one of our best. I don't really like the offer. I may try to layer my paper on here where those little words peek out. Will that be fun? Fun or funny? Why not? Why not, right? Okay, I am going to add glue here. And again, when I am using these kind of materials, I often will do something like this and then just flip it over and cut it to the size that I need. For me, a lot of times that is much easier than trying to measure everything and figure it out. Now this is where my pocket, I haven't decided, I think it's gonna be a top load. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue it closed. I was thinking it may be open there and I didn't wanna wrap the paper around that side, but I am gonna wrap it around the bottom. Okay, so now I have poppies. Thank you, Joey. And what do I want to do next? Do I want the whole thing to be like a variety of poppies? I don't think so. I think I want to do some other things, even though I love the poppies. Okay, let me look at my pile. My pile, that's book page. Here's a little tiny something. Again, this might work, or I could turn it this way. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, she says. All right, this is where I'm gonna leave it open. And I want a little bit of a ruffle there. And I can decide where I want to put it. Now, I don't want to cover up the word this. I need to tear it right about here. Ooh, let's see how I did. There we go. Let's add a touch of ink along that edge and let's glue her down and see what we did. Okay. Cute. I mean, it's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. Why don't I grab, for ease of crafting sake, I was thinking this green. I've been so into fall colors and then so into Christmas, sometimes it is a little refreshing to just say, I'm going to do something a little different today. And this can be for any season, right? All right, leaving it open at the top so I don't need to worry about that, but I'm gonna wrap it around. That's pretty. Okay, this is unquestionably one of our best. That's what I wanted to say. So I need a little tiny piece of washi, and I had this set out too. Remember, and it has some skinny ones. So let's see. Whoops, don't want to cover up the T. And best, I am going to put a little touch of glue down. I don't want this to lift up. All right. It just didn't feel like it was going to stick well, and I think it's because I've had my fingers on it. Okay. Now, something here, and this is where I think bringing in, you know, a little piece of this would be nice. Make it look a little collagey and scrappy. And get it on here wherever we feel like. And wrap it around. Which isn't necessary, you can just chop it off, but I'm going with it. Fun. Okay. Do I want to keep that stamp up there and maybe add something to it later? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, this, it's not here. Wait, maybe this one. I know my washi tape is off camera. I am so sorry, but I was just selecting the one that I thought would be, you know, like the perfect one. Now I'm noticing the top of this is not trimmed very well. So we are going to, not that it had to be, you know, it could have been ragged, but I don't know, it was bothering me. So there we go, right? All right. Fun. This needs a little glue. Yeah, when you're working with junk mail and used envelopes and stuff, you sometimes just have to kind of go with it. All right. I was thinking about, and it's not necessary, but I was thinking it might be interesting to put a little piece right here. That's pretty. Okay, my washi tape is getting all flipped around again. Ooh, I think that one's been hiding under there. That's pretty. I haven't seen it in a while. These little skinny ones make the storage of the washi, I know I'm muttering again, the storage of the washi it's not the easiest, but they are fun. It is fun to have different styles and different sizes. I was thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I've never even used this one with the poppies. Let's just pull some off and we'll see. There we go. And I'm thinking on this side, I'm gonna have to cover this up with, I don't want to see all those words, but it's one of our best offers ever. Okay, I've spent a lot of time collaging this little piecemeal E. Let's look at the back for a sec. I'm thinking about, now if this is going to be glued down in a journal, you don't even have to decorate the back. If it's a standalone pocket, you would definitely want to. Or like a pocket that you would, oh, I guess that got glued in here, that you would, what am I trying to say? Want to slide in another pocket, you know, like just an insert. And again, with it being junk journaling, there's nothing, you know, there's no right or wrong. You can do it however you like. And there are a lot of people that will use envelopes like this and put maybe, you know, one little something on them and just, you know, see the envelope. So again, no right or wrong. All right. I am not thrilled with how that keeps tearing. So we're going to try one more time with that kind of edge. There we go. Yeah, I like that. If I bring it down, it will cover up all of the words. So I need to bring it down over that little strip of washi, like to right there. I was coming above it. I realized that doesn't help me. Doesn't help me cover up that. And see now, like what's the front and what's the back, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever we choose. Okay. I don't even know where that one's going to fit, so I'm going to set it there. And then here, and part of the reason is because this one goes in here, not that one. All right, let's get a piece. Let's do this. Ugh. I'm going to intentionally tear this one to make it more narrow, like that. We'll save this because I'm sure we're going to use it. And put it at the top. It can wrap around, won't hurt anything. And obviously on one piece I added some glue. A lot of times with the washi, if you just get it burnished down really well, you won't have a problem. Okay, you see a tiny bit of the envelope there, but I kind of like that. I am going to take this, and I think I'm going to do this, just since we have it. Okay, and then, again, I'm going to just keep going because I have it. And then what do I want to do next? I think what I want to do is make a insert for it that will hang over a touch. But, you know, we'll pull it out. Or not. You know, I don't know. But part of me wants to. And then we're going to stop because I think I've been crafting for a while. And my watch is saying, Pam, it is time to, it's time to stand up and walk around. Okay, I was going to use the junk mail. I just changed my mind. I am going to use this piece instead. And I might want it shorter. I'll decide here in a sec. Yep, I want it shorter. Actually, I think I'll just fold it up. All right, let's see if I like it like this. And I might like it with the little flap hanging over. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so this I'm actually going to make into another little pocket because I can. All right, so this is going to be a tiny pocket. This is going to tuck in there like this. If I turn it the right way, it's going to tuck in there. And then let's get these out of the way because we do not need these right now. All right. I kind of want to use this. Oh, yes, right there, right? Doesn't even need any ink. It'll look pretty right there. All right, and then on this side, we're going to grab something. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe one of these labels. Sometimes in my doodad folder will have pieces like this that are, you know, smaller, but I just haven't quite cut them out. And then of course I have the ones that are already cut out. And it's always a delight when what I see that I want is already cut out. But it's actually sometimes easier to find them if they're a touch larger. All right. I'm just going to put that right there. I was going to make it look a little more like a tab, but I'm not. I'm just going to kind of glue it there. And this is going to be a pocket. And I thought, yes, look at that. I'll put a little piece in there. Again, just because it's fun to have things to explore when you're working in a journal. Okay, so the vision for this is that in one of my journals that has all kinds of pockets, this will get tucked in a pocket, and then you'll pull it out and have all of this to look at, pull it out and have another little surprise. And whatever else you want to put in here, because there's plenty of room for some more treasures. This is just an upcycled bag that I made using some of my humble supplies. Could have thrown it away, but I didn't. And then this is that envelope that we altered. Yeah, makes me happy. I hope you guys like these ideas. Get out your junk mail, get out your scraps, just have fun. And then like this would even look pretty tucked in a journal, you know, with some, you could, you know, have all kinds of like ephemera, journaling cards, things like that in there. It could get even glued down as a pocket that then opens. That would be really pretty. So, and that Fabrifix did great. It's not sticky anymore. Gotta remember, I do actually like using it. Okay, everyone have a great, great time. And I will be home soon. And I think this was my for the Fabrifix. And this is the one. I don't know that it mattered, but okay. There we go. And I may have gotten that mixed up. It doesn't matter. You guys, thank you. I appreciate you. Please give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Have a great day. Bye.